Greetings and salutation to a Mountain Blade special. We have teamed up together to join this magnificent event of the Siege of Helm's Deep. On an open server where you can side with the good or the evil side. Over here we have, for now, only the armor sets of Gondor and Arnor within to be chosen. And we've decided to start to fight on the side of the good. Joining the archer regiments, and also then later on some cavalry action, and also some two-handed, let's call them shock units. Or you can see the explosion that is about to happen. It's not as satisfying as in the movie itself, it's just...
Oh, they blow up the wall already?
It's a little tap away and the wall is down. Still a cool feature to have in progress in your battlements, so to say. You have certain objectives here to capture and to hold from the evil sides. You can come up the ramp, or climb the walls, or explode the walls. We've joined the men of the archeries, holding the main gate, trying to do our best. And here we go. Our first kill of tonight. And I think that will be our last one. Switching over the stones, throwing them down. Sadly, for some reason we're not hitting. The enemies are wondering why we have so many archers. But that was the command from up above, to go and pick the archers. It was quite interesting in terms of that every role was limited. Even some Nazguls joined the fight, as we can see. And some warg riders charged in through the doors at some point. But overall, I think this whole defense is definitely in the highest of advantage for the defenders. It was very, very tough and very rough for the dark side to manage to push through. The forces of Sauron got swooped by arrows. FTG, I have to say I enjoyed fighting alongside all these hundreds of people. I can't recall how many we were in total, but I think we're around 200, 300, maybe even more, who have gathered for this event. And they do this on a weekly basis. You can find all the description. You can find in the description all the information that you need in terms of joining one of these events. I highly recommend it. Of course, inspired by Legolas, I'm trying myself here to, well, do a little bit of a sneak peek, surf down the mountain ridge, and trying to get some lucky shots in. But quite quickly we got spotted by the enemy archers on the bottom right side, centered as they were storming in through the exploded walls. We were able to hold it. I tried to reinforce the walls over there, but we got swarmed. We got swarmed and we had to retreat into the inner circles. I mean, look at that. Look how magnificent the whole map is. The unit models. Over here joining the shock troops. Waiting for our outburst. Maneuvering and running in as a little blob. And here we push. We just push as a entity.
Let's go, boys.
Luckily, we're not very good at delivering some good blows over here. But all I could see is that their shields were barely holding to the barrage on our shots on them. You try with the archer elements to go behind enemy ranks and rushing one of the ladders, claiming the wall. But the enemy saw through to our scheme.
Behind you.
And sent down some people right behind us. Try my best to find him off. But it seems we're very quickly outnumbered. And instead of here helping my men, I start to wiggle around the ladder. and sadly lose the last hope that I had, while our command up top has been slaughtered. The attention to details on the modules is kudos. Is definitely an eye candy. The event itself was a little bit more chaotic, as it was an open multiplayer session compared to our more
Roll charging the main
kind
gate.
of RP approach that we have normally, where we are moving as full entities with group command and group combat that we do. This was more of a everybody on their own, with some form of hierarchy and command and limited spaces in terms of specific roles towards it. Nonetheless, it felt epic as we were charging the gates, trying to ram it. We're holding there, gates break in, walks charging through, chaos erupting. The atmosphere was outstanding. They even had this little stairway to the side keep. I mean, look at how cool you could create your character, change outfits and whatnot. Look to the east, the riders have arrived. Sadly, it was not the force that I was hoped to be, like in the movies, but still felt epic to join the riders for one of the charges. Must have been very surprising on the enemy sides when all of a sudden cavalry swooped in, as the whole combat went on without it, and then out of nowhere the command for the cavalry charge came in. We switched over and tried to do as much havoc as possible. Looks like I'm got a little bit rusty. I've definitely missed more hits than I should. But overall, it felt epic to run around on the sieges of Helm's Deep. Now switching over to the Hands of Isengard. Basically over here, not Isengard, but the Hordes of Mordor in this scenario, as the skins for the normal Urukais and the Isengards were not yet implemented into this multiplayer mod, but nonetheless looks fearsome. Over here, Apollo and I have formed up together to charge and try to put a hole into the wall.
Moving with the dark side. Is there a button for hiding UI?
Speaking of hiding UI, it's quite a pain in the ass to actually hold off the UI and have this cinematic view. Look at that Apollo in front of me running with the charge.
Oh, cavalry just charged in.
With the pot charge in his hands. If he's not getting hits, he might be able to pull it over there, but cavalry hits him and it drops the pot right before the wall. What a shame. So we need around, I think, 3 to 4 pods to reach the wall in order to fully breach it. But to the ladders, my friends, to the ladders. It would be cool if we could do that, as in the movies, to stand on the top of the ladder, being thrown in there as a Urukai berserker and start swinging left and right with cut-through mod.
I wanted the ladder. First ladder on the wall. No, they're pushing off.
Well, we tried to reach the top. And here we finally managed, but sadly I did a very wrong move over here, switching over to my two-handed instead of holding up the shields as my companion behind me does, so I can push me as an entity up top, forcing them to step aside. You can see how to disable the HUD through a command. It would be nice if it would be just a hotkey to click, especially for the cinematic shots. Apollo managed to breach the wall, We're following him into the inner courtyard.
Yeah, let's focus on that stone staircase.
He called out
Pushing
to
up there.
charge the stone carriers up there.
How's it for you playing overseas on the server? Likewise.
And we managed to hold our ground over here quite nicely. Even though the enemy spawn of the Arnorian soldiers was there. Of course, it's kind of blasphemy to have the soldiers of Arnor defend Helm's Deep, but that was the models that were... That was the model that was available only in this year. This run so far is doing quite good. We're charging the inner circles, managing to swoop over the archer ranks outside. And we've reached the inner gate area, where the last bit of carnage in Last Stand Down started.
Somewhere in the innards of the keep. I'm not sure what turn I took. I just heard lots of fighting outside. I think I'm like in the corridors of the children and women hiding.
Paulus found a nice little labyrinth of corridors and whatnot to sneak into the inside. Sadly, we got swooped down by archers. I'm not going to show that to you guys because it was full embarrassment as a detachment of archers was waiting for us. And here, look at the defense riling up, making a proper shield wall in formation fighting instead of the pure one-on-one chaos that was happening so far.
Oh, look at them. They make a proper shield formation at the entrance to the gates.
Holding off the forces while archers are barraging them from the side. I wonder if Mount and Blade offers the chance of shield spear combat in terms of like that you have a shield row in front of you and the people behind you can poke over the shoulders to go full on 300 Spartan vibes. Brave No More and trying to outmaneuver here the orcs 1-on-4. He's totally getting destroyed. Take that, you foul beast! There we go.
Oh, they're pushing. They're pushing.
That was a magnificent combined push of the forces of good leading into our defeat. We
Wow.
tried our best. It was a magnificent event.
That was insane.
And I hope to see you in the next one again. Thank you, Paula, for joining us. And all to you, have a wonderful one.